Today we are going to be installing this titanium axle dump exhaust for this Lexus GX550 here. Our design actually allows it to fit the Toyota Land Cruiser LC250 as well as the new 6th Gen 4Runner. So we have a cool little flange here that'll allow it to adapt to any of those exhausts. So yeah, let's get started. Bloop. All right, so first we're gonna go ahead and drop the tire. This is essential in order to make sure we have enough clearance to actually fish that exhaust out of there. It kind of has a weird twist over the axle, so it's a little tricky to get out if you don't drop the tire. And then here, we're just removing the rear tire hookup, just to get it out of the way. All right, so we're gonna remove these two 14mm nuts right here with the socket wrench, and that'll release the flange. Just decided to release the whole bolt here, or the whole stud, but no worries, doesn't matter, it's all gonna come off anyway. All right, and then we're gonna jack up the driver's side of the car. That way we can remove the exhaust a little bit easier as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the exhaust hangers now. There's one right here, and one right over here. Here we were working with a brand new GX550, so there wasn't much trouble getting those hangers off. However, it doesn't hurt to keep some WD-40 on hand just in case you need help loosening things up. Then we can go ahead and release it from the bracket, and then do a little twisty on its way out. Our axle dump exhaust is much shorter than the OEM one, so we're good to go ahead and lower it back down again. All right, so on the OEM exhaust back here, we need to remove this white flange. So you might need a screwdriver to help you pry it off. So we'll get it in there. Go ahead and pull that off, like so. With all of the OEM exhaust components off, we're ready to begin putting on our new NYTOP axle dump exhaust. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the exhaust hanger onto our piece here. We're just gonna install it loosely so that we can adjust it later on and fully tighten it later. And then for these bolts, we're gonna go first a regular washer, and we'll put the lock washer on there. And that should be enough for now. We just want to keep it loose so that we can adjust it and tighten it later on. All right, so we have our exhaust right here, and we're going to go ahead and lift that over the rear axle and line it up with our flange in the back. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and line up our flanges here. All right, so now it looks like we have the flanges lined up. We're gonna go ahead, this is for the GX550 only. We're gonna take this provided spacer, and we wanna make sure that this chamfer right here on the inside is facing the OEM flange. So we're gonna go ahead and slide that in here, like so. Kind of line up the holes there. And go ahead and thread in our bolts. Now that we have our new axle dump exhaust loosely bolted to the OEM flange, we're going to go ahead and mount it up on the hangers. This is easier as a two-person job so that the flange alignment and the hanger mounting can be done simultaneously. But if you need to do it by yourself, you just have to make sure you can go back and forth and get those both up there at the same time. And then we can go ahead and tighten these down. The bolt head is 13 millimeters and then the nut is 15 millimeters. While you're tightening these down, you can kind of adjust our exhaust to kind of flex in either direction for any fitment adjustment. That way you're not touching like the heat shield back here or anything like that. All right, now we're gonna lift the tire back up. All right, that's all for the exhaust installation. You'll notice a slightly louder rumble on your engine now, from now on. So it has a slightly better tone to it. And then, of course, you get the increased clearance on the bottom, so you don't have to worry about scraping anything on the underside of your exhaust.